Now that we've all had time to process UFC 259, what the Megan Anderson might be the most heavily overlooked fighter ever competing for a title, but it makes sense, there's levels to this. As for Jan versus Sterling, they both look like idiots. Jan needs Sterling for no reason. We see people do things illegal from time to time in the sport, but that's generally because they're getting desperate. Meanwhile, Sterling is posing with Triple C like he wasn't one round away from getting knocked out by the best bantamweight in the world right now. Now, the main event. Jan won a decision over Adesanya. Adesanya didn't look as fast, Jan didn't look as powerful. It was a good technical battle won by 2 takedowns. Jan proved himself, Israel showed he's beatable. One of the biggest things we took away is John Jones would beat Adesanya at light heavyweight. So what now for Adesanya? Israel can sit back while Whittaker and Paulo fight and Till and Vettori fight it out. I think we can all agree we want Till, Vettori or Whittaker next. What's crazy is Adesanya has beat 3 of those 4 men. The only man Israel hasn't beaten out of those 4 is Darren Till, who also happens to be a kickboxer. It is safe to say Adesanya is the best kickboxer in the UFC. No one understands distance, speed and accuracy together better than Adesanya. In my head, Israel beats all 4 of those men. In fact, the entire middleweight division right now would lose to Adesanya most days of the week. So what's next? As a fan, I say Whittaker or Vettori. Jan showed us that the only way you can know you'll beat Adesanya is to put him on the ground and keep him there. This is where I believe Schevenko is of inspiration. There are several things Adesanya and Schevenko have in common. Both were well-established stand-up fighters before they really committed to MMA. Schevenko was 59-2 between kickboxing and Muay Thai, as well as being 2-0 as a boxer, while Adesanya was 75-5 as a kickboxer and 5-1 in professional boxing. Both decided to focus more on their careers in MMA around 2015 and very quickly rose to the top of the sport. Schevenko differs from Adesanya with how complete her ground game is. Unlike Adesanya, Schevenko has this natural strength as well as a 3rd degree black belt in judo, which allows her to dominate almost any wrestling exchange against most female fighters. Meanwhile, Adesanya has just received his purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. When Schevenko lost to Nunes for the 2nd time, she decided to drop down to the new created Flyweight division, which is actually her natural weight class. No doubt Nunes and Schevenko will meet one more time before the end of their respective careers. And I personally believe Schevenko is more ready than ever to prove to the world what she already knows. It's simple, and you already know it. Adesanya needs to work on his ground game. At middleweight, his skills are generally good enough to keep him out of trouble. But if he wants to compete in the heavier weight classes, it's an area he's gonna have to strengthen. As of now, Israel is beatable, and if he wants to have the legacy he dreams of in the sport, changes will have to be made. In credit to Adesanya, we've seen him training with legendary Brazilian grappler Andre Galvao. Be prepared for Adesanya to come back kicking. Guys, I'm trying to get this channel to 100 subscribers by the end of June. If you've enjoyed the content, consider subscribing. Peace.
Now, what are your thoughts going forward? You're still obviously the middleweight champion. Would you like to fight again at light heavyweight? Is this a one-off?
This is not a one-off. I definitely will be back. But yeah, like I said, dare to be great. Going back down to 185, and I'm gonna roll that with my iron black fist.